Hi everyone, it's Sherry from Our Life Homeschooling, where I share homeschooling encouragement for everyday moms. I am super excited about what I have to share with you this week. I got together for a play date with my sister Jo, and we were able to sit down and talk all about homeschool morning time when you have all littles. Jo is a mom to 4 kids, 7 and under, so she is right in the thick of it. And she's going to be talking all about her goals in morning time, what she does when she has interruptions, and more. Just lots of exciting things for you, especially those of you that are right in that spot where you have lots of little ones. You definitely want to take a listen to this. If you're new here, I'm Sherry. I'm a homeschool mom to 10 kids. I've been homeschooling for 14 years. I love coming on here every week, encouraging you in the great work that you're doing in your homes. I also want to let you know about a really great opportunity that's coming. It launches May 28th, and that is the Fill Your Cup Bundle. This is a bundle of resources, ebooks, courses, printables that are all to encourage you as homeschool moms. So you're not going to find curriculum in this bundle or things that you can use with kids. This is all about encouragement for homeschool moms. And I've contributed a brand new product to this bundle that I can't wait to show you. That's the new ebook, Rest for the Weary Homeschool Mom. In this book, I have scripture, advice, encouragement, quotes, all meant to encourage you and to refresh your spirit. So if you would like to get on the wait list for the Fill Your Cup bundle, I'm going to leave the link below. The bundle is selling for $25. It's a great deal. It's something that's only here for a short period of time and then it's gone. So you don't want to miss this. Get on the wait list by clicking the link below. Jo and I got together for a play date and we had all of our kids. So with mine, I had 9 here and she had 4, so that's a total of 13. We had 13 kids here and we got together to talk for this interview. I thought for sure we'd be interrupted, but we made it all the way through, which was really nice. Although, I don't know, some of you love the interruptions, but we were able to get through the interview. I'm so excited to share this with you. Let's dive in. Well, we have a couple kids here. We are here for a play date and we may have kids running in and out, but I want to get started on this interview. So why don't you start us off by introducing yourself and telling everyone what attracted you to homeschooling.
All right, my name is Jo Maservi. Sherry's my sister. And I went to college and became a high school English teacher and I loved it. I worked at a public school and I never planned to homeschool my kids. Until COVID. We were in DC and I didn't know anybody and everything shut down and we had to homeschool because nothing was available. So we took what we were already kind of doing at home and just gave it a little bit more of an edge and a focus with our oldest. And then I also, because I was so lonely, I helped launch a co-op there with moms who were also really lonely. And I think because of just the community we built there and the extra time I got with my kids, we quickly found ourselves just loving homeschool. And it is hard, and the reason I'm still sticking with it is, I think, because of this lady. She's always been my cheerleader, and she kind of makes me realize that even when it's not going well, that's not always the goal, and to keep going. Mm-hmm. And yeah, here we are.
Mm-hmm. And that's something we were talking about before we got on camera, was that you can have the best resources, the best curriculum, you can have a really supportive co-op, but sometimes I think there is just nothing like knowing another mom that's just a couple steps ahead of you. So I know I had people like that in my life as well that were just ahead of me, and I just kind of latched onto them and wanted to learn as much as I could from them because I knew they had been there and they were going to help me just have that step up. So let's talk a little bit about morning time, because you have all littles and that's a totally different ballgame from what I'm in right now. How do you prepare for a successful morning time?
The first thing I do is I wake up early. I wake up as early as I can just to enjoy the quiet of the house. Before they bombard me with questions and needs and problems and complaints. There's a quote by Toni Morrison that I really like, and it says, do your eyes light up when a child enters the room, because that's what they're looking for. And when my kids wake me up with complaints and needs and problems, my temper is already short, and I don't like to start the day angry with my kids because there's like no light at the end of the tunnel. It's just the beginning. So I try to get up and I make myself a cup of coffee. I read my Bible and I just get my heart ready for the day. And then I like to do whatever I want for a good half an hour. I read a book or I watch one of Sherry's videos. And by the time my first kid wakes up, I greet them with a smile, and they think that I've been up early waiting for them, because kids are selfish.
This is true.
But I find if I start the day excited to see them and excited about what we're doing, I think enthusiasm is half the battle. If I'm excited, they get excited, even if they don't know what's going on. I'm just excited and they jump in. And so that's how I start. And then I, just practically speaking, I have my morning basket on the table with all of our content in it. I block off we've got 2 sets of stairs. I block both of those off. I make sure the bathroom door's closed, so that way when inevitably the baby needs to be put down and to play, I already know he can just go wherever he wants, and if there's no danger. And then we just jump in. Oh, and then I set a timer for them to just finish what they're doing, finish their breakfast, go get an activity from the closet, and when that timer goes off, they know to go to the table with their activity, and we start.
Yeah, that can be, now that you say that, I kind of remember how a timer is helpful when they're all little. I think I did that sometimes too. So walk us through a typical morning time in your homeschool, like on just a regular morning. What does it look like?
It looks really bad. It looks really bad. I think watching our morning time would convince someone not to homeschool. But it's good. It's so chaotic. So I give the baby a snack. Even if he doesn't need one, I just want him still for the start. And then the kids have their activities. But then like someone picked an activity that's too hard for them. So then they think they need help or they want to trade, or someone's trying, like Sadie and Kim always try, their buddies, and they try to share their activity, which means they're chatting the whole time, and I have to convince them that they're not allowed to share. So then I solve that problem. But then the baby's done with his snack and he wants to get down, so the snack did no good. And then we're not even like halfway through the first subject. It's just that a lot. It's constant
interruptions.
Yes.
Yes.
But we try and view it as training. So we do, we're a classical conversations family, so the majority of our work for all of homeschool is memory work. So morning time's important for us because morning time is about memorizing and repeating and reciting, at least for our family. And so we do scripture reading. We're trying to read through Psalms together. We do a couple poems by Shel Silverstein. That's what we did this year, just as a nice, fun experiment in poetry.
And he's funny, so kids
love it. They love it. And then what else do we do? Well, we sing our hymn of the month, which I really enjoy, and it's come in handy in a lot of different ways. And then we jump in and we do CC. We do our classical conversations review work for the week. My big habit now is I tell the kids, you can't interrupt until we're done with one subject and we move on to another one. And so a lot of times, like, we're reading our Bible and I get an interruption and I have to say like 6 times, nope, you have to wait till we're done with Bible reading. Nope, you have to wait, you have to wait, you have to wait. But we're getting there. We're getting there. And so that's kind of how it goes. It goes really slowly, and we hopefully make it through. And it takes about 30 minutes. But if sometimes it's so bad, we give up. I'd rather give up than lose my temper, because it's supposed to be a joy. So we just give up when it's so bad.
Yeah. So how do you handle, I guess that kind of answers the question. How do you handle interruptions? How do you determine like when you would give up or when you're just going to keep going?
For the most part, the small interruptions, it's just the reminder. You got to wait till we're done with this subject. You got to wait. But the big ones, if Cam, my 3-year-old, if he just asks, can I go play? I always just say, yes, go. If he wants to go and he's interested in something else, he's just a little kid for so long. And free play is really important. And my kids are super needy. So if they're outright asking, like, can I go somewhere where I don't need you? The answer is yes, please go.
And then you can have more focused time with Sadie and Kellen,
yes.
the older ones.
Yeah. And they stick around. They're almost all trained up for morning time. With the baby, if he's whiny at the little high chair, he just goes and he wrecks everything. I put him down and he's got a cabinet all to himself and he doesn't use it. He wrecks the things that I don't want him to have. But that's just the way it is. But yeah, if they don't want to be there, I don't make them be there. If they don't realize that they don't want to be there and they just keep interrupting but not asking to go, I try and use it as an advantage. I kind of threaten them. It's like, do you need to go and play somewhere else? And they're like, no, because they want to stay. And that's kind of where I try and guide them is, like, they don't want to be kicked out of the club.
Yeah.
And even though that makes it harder, that's the goal, is for them to want to stick around. And their behavior has to meet a standard in order to be allowed to stay. So that's what we kind of hopefully aim for.
Yeah, find out what's going to incentivize them. I remember so many mornings when my kids were all little that there were so many distractions. I just thought someone, like everyone else would have quit by now. And sometimes we did quit, but you just feel like you have so many distractions that you think you're making no progress, but then you realize after time that you are. So it's worth it, I think, to keep going and to find ways to make it work. If that means letting the little ones go, if that means like whatever you have to do. Even sometimes I would just use a screen for one of my little ones, just so we could have that little bit of 15, 20 minutes to get through with my older kids. But just the daily consistency of doing it. You feel at the time like you're not making any progress, but you are. And you can see that at the end of the year. And maybe not at the end of the year, but maybe at the end of like 3 years when they start getting older and they remember all those things and they come back to them.
Yeah.
What is your primary objective in morning time? So if you could just kind of like lay it out, what is the main thing that you want to get done even if everything else falls apart?
For us, I think we're so young and it's about just my kids wanting to be there. I want them to want to be there. I want us to want to enjoy the time together. And if we aren't enjoying it and if we can't do it well, or at least if doing it well doesn't even seem like it's ever going to happen, then I just feel like what's the point? So I want us to enjoy the time together. One of the big reasons I homeschool is because I like slow mornings. And if morning time is the way we start our day and we all hate it, what's the point? So I want us to enjoy being there. But on the flip side, I don't want to have this lofty idea of what it should look like that I can't keep up with it. So I don't wake up super early to have activities ready for them that are really creative. And then by October, I'm burnt out and I'm done. And I also don't want I don't want them to be entitled. Like, just serve me my activity, I'm ready, and if I don't have it, then they're terrible. I want them to be independent, and I don't want them to expect to be entertained. I want them to entertain themselves and figure it out. So I want to have it be sustainable and something that I can realistically do all year long, on good days, on bad days, when someone's not napping, when someone woke up too early. I want it to be reachable every day. Those are the two big objectives.
Yeah, that's really good, I think, too, just because it's the long game. You're playing the long game.